right. Hey, everyone. I am hopping on with another Friday Live, making this a regular thing. And I'm just sort of noticing here there's a little bit of movement, a little bit of jiggling on my camera. I'm still getting into the groove of Facebook Live since a few things have changed. I'm here to talk about anxiety today. And one of the things that I feel is the best when I'm talking about any of the emotional states that I'm going to be covering here is to be fully transparent in, what comes up for me when I'm sharing about all of this. And I think I shared a little bit about this last week, but when I start writing and creating the content that I'm going to share with you, bonjour Marie, ça me fait plaisir de te voir. One of the things that I find interesting is that, these emotional states show up for me in ways that I get to kind of remember and deepen my understanding and my experience with them so that when I do wind up working with people, maybe it's you, that I can make that connection a lot more quickly. Bonjour. I'm just, chatting as I'm waiting for a few more people to hop on, but, not wanting to take too much of everyone's time. This week seems to have resonated with a lot of people. I've had a lot of comments either in my posts or, as comments to the posts or in direct messages that, even though it's like such a big subject, that these kind of like slightly deeper dives, they still feel super shallow, but that they've been really helpful. And some people have found that it's provided clarity for some of them in terms of understanding what their own experiences are. And, that's my hope with these. I can't write dissertations for each thing, but if it's helpful at any level to just sort of, give a little bit of a spotlight into each little piece to help you get a little bit more clarity about what you're experiencing or have experienced in the past, that opens up a door that you can then kind of go in and explore a little bit more, either on your own or with support. So we talked about this week generalized anxiety disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, panic disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, as well as social phobia. My own personal experience is more in the realm of the PTSD with the high functioning anxiety. But what fascinates me is how many people don't realize that, their discomfort and the experience that they've been having is an expression of anxiety. Anxiety shows up in so many different emotional realms. You can have anxiety paired with grief or with anger, and the list goes on. And what I really appreciated was yesterday, one of my posts my mom added on, it was a post on PTSD. And my mom is quite versed in that. I come by the work I do quite honestly. And I just want to share a little bit more about what she wrote in case you missed it or if you're seeing this on another platform. And she added, typically folks with PTSD had some kind of shock where they expected to die or that a loved one would die. And one of the hallmarks of this disorder is that the person is haunted. So that haunting is very prevalent by memories of the event. And often the person reports having felt helpless during the event. And people who develop PTSD are most often the people who have the capacity of high visual imaging, which is one of the reasons why hypnosis can be so effective in treatment. And I see that in the work that I do with the hypnotherapy. We can go deep into that trauma point, and I don't want to say neutralize it, although some people would say that, but clear that charge that creates that looping experience of going through it, or that trigger point in it. And making sure that when you're experiencing any of these different types of anxiety, that you enlist support and help for yourself. Having a team to support you is not a bad thing. It's, I love it. I know for myself, I have my own therapist that I work with, my own coach. I have someone who supports me with nutrition, and kind of the list goes on, right? We're not meant to go through any of this alone. And I know in that, I will also say that with my with the way that my anxiety shows up is high functioning anxiety, asking for help triggers an anxiety response for me. So that's something that I've had to work through quite a bit, in the way that I've been healing, and I've had to sit with my resistance to asking for help and face it. And I like to kind of imagine all of these things that we don't want to face almost as doors or as corners that are not well lit. And so as we open those doors and see what's behind them, find the keys to unlock them if they're locked, or shine a spotlight in them, that's when we get to see what you really need. Sometimes it's inner child work, so you might have to sit with a version of yourself that is really, really hurt, that you've kept locked away or hidden. And it can be a painful process, and that's why doing it alone is not the best thing, right? Because we need to be cared for. In some cases you're reparenting yourself, or giving yourself, learning to give that childhood version of yourself what it is that you needed when you were a child and weren't getting that, through one circumstance or another. In dysfunctional families, our parents are working with the tools that they have, and sometimes they don't have any tools, or they're working with some pretty broken tools and they don't know that they're broken. And that's a whole lot to reconcile, but it works. Doing the work works. I'm just checking to see if there are any comments here. So those are some pieces that really stuck out for me. I think just acknowledging what it is that you're experiencing is one step towards healing. Shining that light more. That's what I do with clients. We shine the light in the places that haven't had light shone in. We go into the dust bunnies that feel like dust dragons or other kind of scary things. And then when we can do that, even if the Genesis event was extremely frightening, we can offer that part of us what was missing back in that moment. And that can be extremely powerful. So I am inclined to wrap things up here. If you're watching this in a replay, start popping comments or things that you'd like to have me touch on a little bit more in these lives, or and I can make completely separate videos. Let me know what is helpful for you. What do you need more of? What topics do you want covered from an emotional standpoint? If you want me to explain a little bit more about what I do, there's a lot of kind of hazy. A lot of it is non-linear, so it's slightly challenging for me to explain, especially when you're going deep into the subconscious realm. But I find the work really rewarding, and it's really powerful to see people experience new aspects of themselves when they are able to integrate parts that they've been hiding away. I think I just saw someone else pop on, but I'm not sure who. Pardon my fingers here. Anyways, so pop those comments in. I'll be checking in on them throughout the week. And if you would like to join my newsletter, there's some little goodies in there. You can head over to my website, jessicadawncoaching.com. You can sign up there, check things out. And next week is going to be about anger. So you guys voted on anxiety first, but I've got some stuff coming down the pipeline about anger. So it'll be interesting to see what shows up in that respect in my own life, just because of, my week has been filled with a lot of anxiety. So it always mirrors up with the subject. So I was sort of like, better get ready for anger, see what's coming down the pipeline, especially if it matches up with my cycle. Might be kind of scary. Maybe I should warn my family members. Anyways, so I look forward to sharing that content with you, and let me know what you'd like to have more of. So I will say bye for now. Have a great weekend.